After all the fake news from Big News Morgans about Straw Hat Luffy being the fifth Yonko, we now have semi-official confirmation. Welcome to the club, Luffy. What's up, you guys? Zarok here with your One Piece 1026 chapter recap and review. Alright, so the chapter starts off with the cover page of Nami making a t-shirt that resembles the same t-shirt that Belmare made in chapter 77 or episode 35, which is a cool little piece of information. But that's not really what we're here for. So let's get into the chapter in earnest. So it starts off with people enjoying the Fire Festival. We see Tenguyama with Otoko, and he's having a flashback. And this is actually the first of many flashbacks this chapter, as we'll see later on in the review. But he has a flashback to Speed and Otama leaving the island on the boat. He's telling her to get back, but she's like, I have to do something. So he's just there hoping that she'll be okay. We switch to Onigashima, and we see that one of the Marys is looking at Kaido, Luffy, Momo, and Yamato. And for those of you who don't remember, the Marys are those people on the Beast Pirates with the weird eye symbol over their face, and they're able to transmit the visuals and audio of whatever scene they're looking at to the rest of the Beast Pirates. So the Mary is reporting back to someone that Yamato's injured and that he sees two dragons in the sky. The chapter also calls Kaido the Azure Siryu. Not exactly sure what that is. Tried to do a little bit of research on it, but only thing that I saw that it was a deity like dragon. Anyway, he reports that Momo and Straw Hat, or he called Momo a pink dragon, were challenging Kaido. And then back to flashback number 2 of the chapter, Yamato recalls seeing Momo wishing that if he were a monster like Kaido, he'd be able to help people. And now seeing him as this huge pink dragon just, I guess, brings everything full circle for her. The Mary seems to be reporting to Queen by this point in the chapter, but he doesn't identify the pink dragon. He doesn't know who it is, so he's not aware that it's Momo, but he's saying, the dragon is hostile. Queen then deduces that Yamato was the person that was preventing Kaido from joining the battle, which, is massive, right? If Kaido was able to roam freely and influence some of these battles, it would have definitely been over for the Alliance. And actually poses another question that I'm sure everyone else is asking, which is, really how strong is Yamato? Because she seems to be incredibly strong. And then based off of some of the results that happen later in this chapter, you have to wonder, what role does she have to play as these final fights are going on? Because, again, she was able to hold off Kaido for such a long time. I can't see a lot of characters who could give her a really hard time at this point. So not sure what Oda's plan is. My theory is that it's going to be a similar role to what Law played during the fight with Doflamingo. So at some point, again, Luffy's gonna be out. She's gonna need to buy some more time for him to recover, and then maybe get some final moves to beat Kaido in the end. But we'll see when we get there. Anyway, moving forward. So Kaido is fighting Luffy and Momo at this point, and he shoots a blast breath at them, and Luffy's like, "Hey Momo, counter your own blast breath." And he's like, "Bro, what? I can't do that." So he instead dodges, which is actually impressive in its own right that he's able to dodge that blast breath in his dragon form, but he does it. So anyway, Luffy tells Momo at that point something that we can't hear, and then he goes to charge Kaido with an elephant gun. Momo's looking worried and confused, and that brings us to flashback number 3. We get a flashback of something that happens within this chapter, and it actually turns out that Luffy told Momo, "Hey, go by Kaido," which is what freaked him out, which I'm sure would freak anyone out. But anyway, he has his flashback, again, flashback number 4, of when, the night that Kaido killed Odin and presumably his mother as well, Otoki. And, gives him the courage to go up and bite Kaido. And of course, Kaido, is about to probably do something crazy to him. But then we get Yamato coming in, but Luffy actually beats her to the punch and hits him with a punch in base form. Presumably coded in Conqueror's Haki, but I guess we don't know for sure. But anyway, we switch over scenes again, and we are now looking at the fights with Jack and Inuarashi and Perospero and Nekomamushi. Cat and Dog are on the floor. Seems like they're, on their last legs fighting against the third commander of the Beast Pirates and the eldest son of Charlotte Linlin. So they mentioned something about how dragons bring storm clouds, and the clouds covered up the moon, and so they aren't able to maintain their Sulong form, and so that power boost, makes them not a match, especially in their injured state against those two high level commanders, and so they look to be in peril. But we go back to the roof, where Luffy, is getting his whistle and hat. He's got his headsets. He's ready to coach Momo to get him ready to really contribute to this fight in a meaningful way. He tells him, hey, you just bit one of the Yonko, one of the 4 emperors of the sea. What can be scary after doing that? And, just a really good point. And so it looks like he's trying to, motivate and encourage Momo to, use his new found strength in this older dragon form to try and stop Onigashima in its tracks. You remember Kaido's using his flames to drop Onigashima on top of the flower capital. And now, we're hopefully with this new encouragement from Coach Luffy, Momo's able to try to stop it in his dragon form. But anyway, the Mary is overhearing this conversation, and he's broadcasting it to everyone. And so in the midst of his pep talk, trying to get Momo encouraged, Luffy's saying he's definitely gonna beat Kaido, right? He's gonna beat him this time, and as long as he's standing, there's a chance. And so everyone in the alliance overhears this from the Mary, and so they're getting pumped up. Everyone's getting, rallied behind Luffy being back in the fight. But Big Mom is laughing like, this kid is funny, really not believing in Luffy. Kid is like, which, by the way, remarkable that he's not dead yet. He's saying, well, you better, which, actually is a little bit of a vote of confidence, if you will. And Law's like, where the hell has this guy been the entire time? Which, is also a valid reaction. Luffy and Kaido clash. And while they're not touching, and again, this is probably the biggest moment of the chapter, while not touching, just using their Conqueror's Haki, they're able to do a feat that we've only ever seen done between 2 other Yonko level characters. We've seen it done most famously with Whitebeard and Roger. We've seen it done with Shanks and Whitebeard. We've seen it done with Big Mom and Kaido. And after all the hype and talk in the newspaper about the feats that Luffy did, him assembling a grand fleet, we knew as the audience watching this closely that really this guy isn't Yonko level just yet. But here, without using any words, showing, not telling, we see Luffy perform a feat with Kaido that has only ever been done between 2 Yonko level commanders, and they split the sky. That's right, folks. I think it's, for all intents and purposes, Luffy is Yonko level. Not sure if he's Kaido level, but at the very least, he should be able to have a more believable fight with Kaido now. And credit to Oda what he does with this, right? Because we've all, I'm sure, in the back of our minds been anticipating this moment, but not really outright. I never really considered Luffy doing this myself personally. Because it just wasn't. It was like, it's a cool thing that the Yonkos did, but I never in the front of my mind go, Luffy needs to do this before we can for sure confirm him to be, a Yonko level. And Oda takes this literary plot point and uses it to progress something else, which is the fight between Nekomamushi and Inuarashi, and the Kaido's third commander, as well as Big Mom's eldest son. And so he used this opportunity where Luffy has now stepped into this major spotlight, splits the sky again, performs a Yonko level feat, and uses it to clear the sky so that the moon can be back in focus, and allows cat and dog to go back into their Sulong form, and then use Oden One Sword style, which I think that's the same technique they used against Kaido, the unexplained technique that allowed someone like Raizo to deal damage to Kaido. So they use this. So they're in their ultimate form, using seemingly one of their ultimate techniques, and they defeat, officially, we got the cue card, so this isn't just speculation. They officially defeat, the third commander Jack, as well as Perospero. Which means, folks, really only two major fights left. Our boys Sanji and Zoro versus Queen and King. So the ending of those fights is probably coming up, and also probably means that we're not long for this arc. It seems like we might be nearing the finale. I don't know if in the near future, but maybe by mid of next year we could see the defeat of Kaido, and on to the next saga. Out of this, not even just the next arc, the next saga might be the end of the Versus 4 Emperor's arc. Who knows? But anyway, chapter ends with Orochi looking nervously after Jack is defeated, Perospero is defeated, and he's like, oh man, like even Jack got taken out. And so, folks, I think we're reaching, at the very least, Wano Endgame, so lots of stuff to look forward to. And overall, pretty good chapter. From a plot standpoint, historical significance, the fights, I mean, what more could you possibly want in a One Piece chapter? And so I think at the end of all of this, my final grade has to be an A-. Again, really fantastic chapter. My first grading of a One Piece chapter, so trying to start at least conservatively, and I think I have in my mind at least what an A and an A+ chapter would look like, and this was in very close contention to be an A, but I can think of several chapters that I would put above this. So starting off, going to give this chapter an A-, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, fantastic chapter, looking forward to the next one, but be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more One Piece content, and hope to get this rocking and rolling. All right, folks, take care. Bye-bye.